So let's talk about some of the things that a lot of times we're not aware of, but that affect business, right? And just your life, your relationships, everything. You know, that aura. You know, you ever meet somebody that has just great energy to them?
They automatically put you in a good mood.
Yeah, you feel good around them. They're positive. They're excited. Life is good. Even if it's not internally, right? But they give off just this great positive energy. They have great relationships.
Yeah, I have people like instantly coming to mind.
Okay. And what about the opposite?
I can think of those people too.
Think of those people too, right? And I think that's one of the things that a lot of times people try. They work hard. They think they're doing everything they're supposed to do, but this area is probably responsible for part of the reason why they're not getting their results.
It's holding them back and they don't even know.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young. We were broke. We didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. Okay, so let's start off. What are some of those things? This will probably be a short episode, but I think an episode that's powerful. I can think over and over again about people who you would think or expect them not necessarily to do as well as they do. They may not be as talented, they may not be as technical, but they get really great results. And I think there's a couple intangible things that even if we don't say them, they still communicate.
Yeah, I think this has been more talked about recently where people are talking about energy and how energy introduces you before you even say anything.
Yeah. And I think that's a big point. You meet people and you feel we instantly prejudge people, right? Even if we don't do it intentionally. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's based on just a feeling. And feelings aren't always facts. But I think your energy, like you said, is your introduction. Even if it's on Zoom, even if it's via message, you get a text message from somebody and you're just like, damn, they just seem like mad, and they didn't even say anything, but you could just feel it, right?
Yes.
That's a big part of success. So since we're talking about success and winning, and the whole podcast is about winning regardless, let's go through a couple of those things that some people may not be aware of. And I'll tell you that none of us are perfect at this. You never know what's going on in someone's head.
Or their life.
Yeah, they may be having the worst day of their life, right? I remember one time, I won't go into that whole story. I was going to talk about, but I told you the story about that lady at Vaughn's, and the gentleman who was in his sports car, right, with his handicap placard.
That was not that lady's shining moment, but we won't go into
not
that
her
example because it was just offensive in all regards.
But that's a perfect example of like two things. Number one, you don't know someone's background, and number two, someone could be having a really bad day. So number one thing that I think we're often not conscious of is, we already said it, is the energy that we put out.
So if you're not conscious of it, then how can you tell if your energy is not in a position where it's actually helping you succeed?
Well, number one, like how do you feel? Regardless of how bad your day is, from a business standpoint, if you're conducting business, if you're running appointments, if you're meeting with clients, if you're seeing customers, you have to, before that appointment or that contact happens, you have to take inventory of how you're feeling, and you got to figure out how to snap into a positive state. So if you feel agitated, you feel irritated, you feel on edge, you just feel pissed off, you're tired, whatever it is, like a champion always knows how to change their state.
So let's say we're talking about, business, because, we're in the business world, and someone's saying, hey, I am frustrated when I'm doing my work because I feel that my work's not getting me the results that I want. So I am frustrated, I am discouraged, I am, upset, but I'm still working, but I'm not getting the results I want.
Yeah. So what I would do in that case, because I've been in that spot, is number one, oftentimes I remind myself that although I may not be currently where I want to be, I've made a lot of progress. I've grown a lot. I'm not where I was before. I'm closer than I was before to my goals. And also, I oftentimes just stop and kind of reevaluate. Like, things are not always as bad as they seem. I got a lot to be grateful for. I got a lot of things that are going well. Sure, I may have not closed something I thought I was going to, or not had success in this area that I thought I was going to, but I got a lot of things to be thankful for. And I know we always say like, oh, focus on what you're thankful for, but the reality is like, it really changes a lot. Mm-hmm. Another thing is I tell myself, I got to just snap out of it, because I want to win, and this appointment could be a win for me. And the very last thing I want is to bring my negative ass into the appointment and be the reason I don't close.
Baggage, just like in relationships.
Yeah. Self-sabotage, right? It's like everything went bad today. Now I expect this to go bad too. Like, no, like you gotta stop and start with everything brand new, because the last thing you want is to be the reason. And it always works that way. Like, you could have ran 50 appointments and they were all crap. And then the one that would have been the one is the one where you decided, whatever, it's going to go to crap too. Everything sucks. Everybody says no. And then you ruin your own blessings.
I think I experience this energy that you're talking about always at the DMV. Because if I have to go to the DMV for something, if it's a license renewal, like anything, the first thing is like, do you have this form? And they say it like they expect you not to have it, right? So they're all angry and upset, like you're wasting my time. Do you have this form? And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. How about this form? Yeah, it's right here. How about that form? And then by the time they get to the end, if you have everything, they're like, okay, well, so this is where you go and this is what you do. But if you're running appointments or you're working towards getting clients or expanding your business with that energy, like I'm not going to have good energy until it goes exactly how I want it to, it's going to be a very difficult process.
Yeah, and it's just trying to be like refreshing. Mm-hmm. Like I remember a time going to the DMV and I had this dude that was freaking awesome. And I was like, dude, that was refreshing. And so sometimes it's be conscious of the fact that I want my energy to be refreshing. When people leave me, I want them to feel good. When people hang up with me, I want them to feel good. Maybe they're feeling challenged. Maybe they felt a little uncomfortable, but it's a good uncomfortable. It's not like some people suck all the life out of the room and other people pour energy into the room, mm-hmm. and they brighten the room, and so it's just I think it's a matter of being refreshing and being conscious of it. The biggest thing is that most people aren't conscious of it. I shouldn't say most people, that's a generality. A lot of people aren't conscious of it. And they're not conscious of the fact that if you ever have moments in your business where everything's going good and everything you touch closes and everything you sit with says yes, and then you have other moments in your business where every single message you send is you don't get a reply and everything you touch turns to shit. Mm-hmm. And like it's literally it's not anything other than the fact that you just may not be communicating. You're communicating the same words, but people aren't getting the same feeling. And that's because you're not feeling good. You're not feeling your best.
I think that brings us into our next point, which is what you're talking about, which is being intentional.
Right.
Being intentional about the energy and the outcome that you're trying to achieve. And like you said, sometimes it's, I want this person to leave this conversation feeling good, like feeling happy, feeling a little bit more, more of a skip in their step when they leave this conversation. Because I know I have people in my life who I could be having the worst day and I'll talk to them and I will be in a better mood afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great power to have where you can make someone's day a little bit brighter.
Yeah. I think, like you said, being conscious of it and, people having a little bit more. I think also it's communicating, whether it's business, whether it's just with friends, whether it's with family, it's having clear and pure motives and intentions. Like when I'm sitting with clients, there's two types of energy, right? There's probably a lot, but two come to mind. Like number one is, God, I'm freaking broke and I need you to say yes. Like, please say yes. Please say yes. The other one's like, man, it doesn't really matter to me whether you say yes or not. My intention is I just want to give you as much value as possible. I want you to get a lot out of this appointment. Whether you become my client or not, I want you to hang up feeling like, man, I benefited from that conversation. I learned a lot. That was awesome. That was cool. Like, I really like that guy, you know? And that intention and that motive's very pure, right? It's I'm coming here because I just want to, be able to benefit you. I want to teach you something, and a lot of conversations don't always have to be transactions, right? And I think that's what I mean by having clear intentions and clear motives. When we talk about that is that, I looking at people as people, and not just always looking at everyone as a dollar sign. I think that type of energy actually will make you more money.
It will. People especially now, want that genuine, that real, that no BS. They don't want the fake. They don't want the, I'm smiling, but inside, like, I just want you to do what I want you to do.
Right.
Even over a text message, I can tell when somebody, texts me and they're like, hey, how are you? Like, they never ask how I am, but the favor is coming, right? You're
right.
like, I'm going to say I'm good, and you're going to say, hey, so I have this favor. Like, just ask me for the favor up front.
Yeah.
And then if you really are interested in how I am, then you can ask afterwards. People can feel it.
Yeah, people want authentic. Mm-hmm. They want real, straight to the point, no bullshit. Like, I'll give you an example. Someone books an appointment for me. They go, hey, Jay, I want you to meet with so-and-so. And I'm like, okay, why am I meeting with so-and-so? Oh, well, because, he owns this and, he's trying to do this. And so, like, I told him, well, I want you to meet my CEO because, man, if you could get him, you could get all of Tenacity, but Jay, I'm hoping that we could, get him as a client. And I'm like, bro, that's like the most bullshit setup of an appointment ever. It's a bait and switch.
Yes.
It's not authentic. It's not genuine. It's not you being real. It's not you being direct. And I don't want you to waste my freaking time on that appointment. And I also don't want to waste that dude's time. Like, it's just like it's all fake. None of it's real. None of it's straight up. None of it's up front. Like, if you want me to meet with so-and-so, tell them why, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. There's not going to be this, oh, well, you could get Jay, but then, man, if you get Jay, you get all of, like, it's a bunch of nonsense. Yes. And that's what I mean by intentions and motives. They're not pure. They're not authentic, right? It's not genuine. And maybe it is, but I don't think it's true to you, right? And that energy does not close deals, and that does not build businesses, and that does not give you success.
You would have a better shot at just saying, hey, I want to sell you something.
100%.
I want to sell you this.
Well, what do you want to sell me?
Are you in any way open to this thing I'm selling?
Right, exactly. And it brings me to the last one, right? Which is that in every relationship, in every conversation, there's someone giving and there's someone taking, right? There's someone contributing and there's someone taking. Mm-hmm. And I think a winning energy of someone who wins in business, makes a ton of money, has a huge company and organization, is very good at what they do, they're respected by everyone, are people that focus on giving and contributing more than taking.
I think when you have that exact mindset, you receive in return. It's not that you're just, pouring out everything out of your cup and
right.
you're left empty. And I think that's the mentality that people have and why they don't give more. Right.
And the more you give, the more you get, right? That's mm-hmm. not just a cheesy quote. Mm-hmm. Like that's real life. And I'll tell you why. The more you contribute, the more people around you want to help you win. Yes. People want to help you hit your goals when they know you're someone who gives. And giving, giving does not reap you the same blessings when you give expecting something in return.
Oh no, never. If then it feels like an obligation.
Right, 100%. I'll give you an example. Back in the day, I grew up in church. And everyone knows someone like this, right? And it's the person that, like, on the church cleaning day, they show up, always. They're always there. cleaning the kitchen with a negative ass attitude. Like, I'm the only person who shows up here. Nobody else comes. Nobody helps but me. It's like, dude, God's like, dude, shut the hell up and get out of here. Like, that is not a servant's heart, right?
Right. It's
That's
like a slave.
Yeah, like, well, I'm better than everyone else because I'm the one who comes to church and cleans. No one else is raking up the leaves around here. Like, where's everybody at? Like, that is not, you don't get anything in return for that.
And nobody wants to join in on that action either.
No. And so that's you giving with bad intentions, right? Like, your heart's not in the right place. You're doing it with this grumpy ass attitude the whole time versus like, I'm just giving because I enjoy giving. And some people really love to give of their time, financially. Adri always calls in the middle of a podcast, huh?
Adri.
Literally 2 episodes in a row. Of their time, financially, giving of your energy, sometimes just being someone to listen, and so be conscious. Like, when you think about your relationships, are you the one contributing or are you taking? And every relationship, sometimes there's always a time when someone's taking, right? Of course. That's the whole point. But it's going into business. It's going into your conversations. It's going into dialogue with potential clients and potential transactions with the heart of, I'm going to be positive and excited and enthusiastic, and I'm going to have clear motives, and I'm not worried about the outcome. And at the end of the day, I want to have really, really clean intentions of just trying to add value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said it all. That sums it up.
Sweet. Do you want to end the episode?
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to comment and like and share if you find this valuable. If not, you can just skip on through.
If you think it sucks, tell us.
No, don't tell me. I can't handle it.
Lies.
I'm just kidding. But thank you guys. We appreciate it. Hopefully this is helping you. This is our way of contributing. So
yeah, we have a blast doing it. So
yeah.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.